47,000 travelers missed their flights last month because of simple carry-on mistakes they never saw coming. A grandmother from Phoenix lost $1,200 when TSA confiscated something she'd been packing for 30 years without issue. But here's the shocking part. Mistake number 3 on today's countdown involves a new TSA rule that took effect this year, and 9 out of 10 travelers have no idea it exists. If you make it to the end, you'll discover the number 1 item that TSA confiscates more than any other, and it's sitting in most people's bags right now. Before we start, if you value practical travel advice that actually works, consider subscribing. It really helps us continue bringing you real-world insights from the airport trenches. Air travel has reached record volumes in 2025, with passenger numbers exceeding pre-pandemic levels by 23%. Airlines are implementing stricter policies, overhead bins are shrinking on regional jets, and TSA confiscations have risen 15% due to new enforcement protocols. What worked for seasoned travelers just 2 years ago can now result in gate check fees spiking to $100 on budget carriers, missed connections from security delays, and social media viral moments for all the wrong reasons. The most experienced travelers are getting caught off guard by changes they never saw coming. Flight attendants report that carry-on disputes are now the leading cause of boarding delays, with some flights departing 45 minutes late due to baggage conflicts. Travel influencers across platforms are sharing horror stories of delayed flights, confiscated items, and unexpected fees that turn smooth trips into expensive nightmares. These aren't minor inconveniences anymore. These are costly mistakes that can derail entire vacations, business trips, and family visits. The travelers who adapt to these new realities are the ones who arrive relaxed and on schedule, while those who don't find themselves scrambling to salvage their plans. Starting our countdown at number 10, ignoring international carry-on variations. United States rules seem universal until travelers discover that European and Asian airlines operate under completely different standards. Weight limits that don't exist on domestic flights suddenly become deal breakers on international routes. European carriers typically enforce 7 to 10 kilogram weight limits on carry-on bags, regardless of size compliance. Asian airlines often have even stricter policies, with some carriers weighing every single carry-on bag at the gate. A recent trend on social media showed transatlantic travelers hit with unexpected fees ranging from $75 to $200 for bags that were perfectly compliant with TSA size requirements, but exceeded international weight standards. The International Air Transport Association reports that weight-related carry-on violations have increased 34% on international routes this year. But here's what makes this particularly frustrating. The same bag that flies free on a domestic route can cost hundreds of dollars on an international connection. Smart travelers are now researching specific airline policies through IATA guidelines and investing in hybrid bags like Briggs & Riley's Baseline series that adapt to various international requirements. Number 9. Not confirming flight details at the last minute. This seems basic until travelers realize how dramatically airline operations change throughout the day. Gate changes, aircraft swaps, and delay notifications can completely alter carry-on strategies. A traveler who planned for a large aircraft with ample overhead space might find themselves on a regional jet with severely limited bin capacity. The assumption that previous flight experiences predict current conditions leads to rushed repacking and costly mistakes. A viral thread on social media documented a $1,200 mistake when a frequent traveler missed notification of an aircraft change from a wide-body plane to a smaller regional jet. His standard carry-on bag no longer fit the reduced overhead bins, forcing an expensive gate check and missing medication that remained in the bag during a lengthy delay. Real-time notification apps like Flighty have become essential tools for experienced travelers. Number 8. Forgetting fragile or valuable items in checked luggage. The global increase in mishandled baggage, up 20% this year, has made this mistake particularly costly. Electronics, jewelry, prescription medications, and important documents disappearing into checked luggage create problems that extend far beyond the flight itself. International routes show the highest rates of baggage mishandling, with some carriers reporting delay rates exceeding 15 bags per 1,000 passengers. Flight attendants consistently advise keeping valuables in carry-on bags, but many travelers still make the mistake of checking items they can't afford to lose. The rise of tracking devices like AirTags has helped some travelers locate missing bags, but the stress and inconvenience of separated valuable items remains a significant travel risk. Travel insurance claims for lost valuable items and checked luggage have increased 42% this year. But here's something airlines don't advertise. The real reason they want valuable items in carry-on luggage isn't just about your convenience. They're trying to limit their liability for expensive lost or damaged items. Number 7, bin hogging and using wrong overhead space. This behavioral mistake has become a hot topic on social media platforms, with terms like gate lice trending among frustrated travelers. Passengers who store bags far from their seats create boarding bottlenecks and passenger conflicts. With overhead bins at capacity on most flights, territorial disputes over storage space have become common. Flight attendants report spending significant time resolving bin conflicts, often delaying departure times. The psychology behind this behavior relates to anxiety about finding overhead space, but the practice actually makes the problem worse for everyone. Airlines like Delta are piloting bin assignment technology to address this issue, but passenger education remains the most effective solution. Experienced gate agents suggest that passengers who board with appropriate-sized bags and use bins near their seats experience the smoothest travel experience. Number 6, wrapping gifts in carry-on luggage. Holiday travel seasons show dramatic spikes in this particular mistake, with security personnel unwrapping presents that trigger screening alerts. TSA agents report that wrapped items obscure X-ray images, requiring manual inspection that delays security lines and ruins gift surprises. The time lost in unwrapping and rescreening can cause missed connections. Amazon's same-day delivery services at destination cities have created new strategies for gift-giving travelers. Many experienced travelers now ship presents directly to their destination or purchase wrapping materials after clearing security. The convenience of post-security gift wrapping areas in major airports reflects how common this mistake has become. Holiday 2025 trends show increased confiscation of wrapped items that were mistaken for concealed hazards, suggesting that security personnel are becoming more cautious about packages they cannot clearly identify through screening equipment. You know what's interesting? Most people watching this won't subscribe, even though it takes 1 second and helps us create more content like this. The travelers who do subscribe tend to have the smoothest airport experiences. Number 5, not packing essentials in carry-on bags. The global spike in mishandled luggage has made this mistake particularly devastating for travelers who separate themselves from critical items. Prescription medications, a change of clothes, important documents, and electronic chargers should never be relegated to checked luggage. Yet travelers continue making this mistake, often with serious consequences. The one-bag travel movement among travel influencers promotes minimalism with packing cubes for efficiency, but the core principle applies to all travelers. Essential items must remain accessible throughout the journey. Viral stories of travelers stranded without medications or appropriate clothing for important events continue circulating on social media platforms. Travel medical professionals report that medication-related travel emergencies have increased significantly when passengers separate themselves from their prescriptions during baggage delays or losses. Number 4, burying electronics deep in carry-on bags. TSA screening procedures require quick access to laptops and tablets, but many travelers pack these items in inaccessible locations. Varying scanner types at different airports create confusion about which electronics require removal for separate screening. Some advanced scanners allow electronics to remain in bags, while older equipment requires removal in separate bins. This inconsistency causes delays when travelers must unpack deeply buried devices during the screening process. TSA pre-check enrollment has accelerated due to faster processing times. However, travelers without pre-check status who bury their electronics create bottlenecks that affect entire security lines. The trend toward packing electronics on top of carry-on bags reflects experienced travelers' understanding that accessibility during screening prevents delays and frustration. Number 3, packing prohibited or restricted items. This is where that new TSA rule comes into play, and it's catching experienced travelers completely off guard. Items like large aerosols, weapon replicas, and overproof alcohol trigger confiscations that can result in fines up to $14,950. But the category that's seeing the most dramatic increase in seizures involves electronic cigarettes and battery-powered devices due to fire risks. Recent trends show more battery and e-cigarette confiscations as TSA agents become more aggressive about fire prevention. Portable chargers must remain in carry-on luggage, but many travelers still attempt to pack them in checked bags. The TSA's "What can I bring?" tool has become essential for travelers, but many people skip this verification step and discover restrictions only when their items are confiscated at security checkpoints. The enforcement has become stricter, with agents showing less flexibility for borderline items than in previous years. Number 2. Violating the 311 liquids rule. Despite years of enforcement, this rule continues trapping travelers who pack liquids over 3.4 ounces in non-quart bags. The 2025 enhancement of TSA scanning technology has led to heightened enforcement of liquid restrictions. New scanners detect prohibited liquids more accurately, triggering confiscations that cause security line delays and missed connections. Many experienced travelers still forget about liquid restrictions when packing toiletries, contact lens solutions, or beverages. TikTok trends promoting solid toiletries like shampoo bars reflect travelers' efforts to bypass liquid restrictions entirely. These alternatives eliminate the need for compliance with liquid rules while providing the same functionality as traditional liquid products. The frustration level increases when travelers lose expensive skincare products, prescription liquid medications, or specialty toiletries that cannot be easily replaced at their destination. Quick question for everyone still watching. Which of these mistakes have you made? Drop a comment and let other travelers know they're not alone. Your experiences help everyone travel smarter. Number 1. Overpacking carry-on bags beyond size limits. This is the mistake that costs travelers the most money and creates the biggest headaches at airports worldwide. Many travelers ignore airline-specific dimensions, with most United States carriers enforcing 22 by 14 by 9-inch limits. The assumption that close enough will work leads to forced gate checks and fees that can reach $100 on budget carriers. With fuller flights in 2025, this mistake often results in separated baggage and arrival delays. The trending solution involves measurement apps like Kayak for verification and expandable yet compliant designs from brands like Away's Flex bags. These allow maximum packing capacity while maintaining size compliance across different airlines. But here's the real problem. Gate agents are becoming less flexible about borderline cases. The days of squeezing an oversized bag into the sizing template are ending, as airlines enforce policies more strictly to manage overhead bin capacity on packed flights. Here's the thing about these mistakes. They're completely preventable with the right information. The travelers who subscribe to channels like this rarely get caught off guard. Don't learn these lessons the expensive way. Now for that shocking reveal I promised. The number 1 item TSA confiscates that almost nobody expects: water bottles. Not empty ones, not obviously full ones, but partially consumed bottles that travelers forget about in their bags. Thousands of travelers lose water bottles daily because they forget about that half-empty bottle from their morning coffee shop visit or the water they bought before entering the security area. The item seems so innocent that people forget it violates liquid restrictions, yet it accounts for more confiscations than any other single category. The solution is simple. Finish your beverages or empty containers before reaching security, then refill them at water fountains or purchase new drinks after clearing the checkpoint. If you've made it this far and found these insights valuable, type "Smart Traveler" in the comments. This helps us know which content resonates most with our community of experienced travelers. These carry-on mistakes are amplified in 2025 by busier airports and technology-driven enforcement, but smart preparation eliminates most problems before they occur. Always double-check airline apps and TSA guidelines before every trip, not just when rules change. If this information helped you avoid costly travel mistakes, subscribing ensures you stay ahead of future changes in travel regulations. The aviation industry evolves constantly, and informed travelers consistently have the best experiences. Safe travels, and remember, preparation prevents problems at 35,000 feet.